Hello everyone! Once again it's me, Ilelemwanta Nomaren, and this is Verse Breakdown. The verse that I want to discuss today is Psalms chapter 34 verse 17, which reads, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles." What does this verse mean? The verse, on its surface level, is simple enough to understand, but the Bible has a lot to say on this subject. That's why we see all these examples of righteous people crying to God for help and being saved, because the Bible wants us to look deeper into the issue. Let's take the example of Jacob. In Genesis chapter 33 verse 4, Esau actually went and hugged him. This was someone who was going to murder him. But because Jacob needed help from God urgently, God stepped in and made sure that Esau wouldn't have any ill will towards him. We can also look at what happened with Hezekiah in Isaiah chapter 37 verses 36 to 38. Despite all of Sennacherib's boasting through his servants, what happened to him? Thousands of his soldiers were killed, and he had to flee, and he ended up getting killed by his own sons. These things happened because these people stuck to the duty of their race. The whole duty of man is to serve God, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. They didn't do it hypocritically, no. They stuck with what they believed in, and they were faithful. Matthew chapter 7, verse 21. And even though the righteous have to go through a tough time in this world, they have to go through these terrible last days, Luke chapter 21 verses 8 to 28, and there's a lot of persecution going around, Acts chapter 20 verses 28 to 30. People are just losing faith in God altogether, according to Matthew chapter 24 verse 12. People just don't see how God can still exist in such a cruel world, and righteous people can sometimes get swept away in all that. But we have to stand strong. We have to reject the love of the world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And we have to make sure that even though the devil is using all these crazy events in these last days to pull us to his side, no, we have to fight back. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. In fact, Jesus was able to use these tough times in one of his teachings. In Luke chapter 13 verses 1 to 5, Jesus was talking about how the people who died in the Tower of Siloam, they weren't any more wicked than the other people around them. So, because we live in such a world where anything can happen to us, whether we are righteous or not, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 15, we have to simply turn to God for help. If we are sinners, that means we need to repent. If thou, Lord, shouldst mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand? But there is forgiveness with thee, that thou mayest be feared. Psalms chapter 130 verses 3 and 4. If we turn to God and worship him, according to Micah chapter 6 verse 8, then we can only be blessed in the end. And that is where I think I can stop in discussing the verse, Psalms chapter 34 verse 17, which reads, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles." I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening.